I'm Andy. I got Tim here with me. It's time to go over our Week 9 picks and then make our Week 10 picks for the NFL. So let me just start by saying it was close. We actually tied, but you won the tiebreaker. So
okay, so who won then?
Technically, you won, but
Just making sure, because it sounded like I won.
Both of our records were the same in picks, and you just won in points. Like you won the points, but
gotcha.
We'll run over them real quick here. The Houston Texans at the New York Jets. I don't think any of us saw this coming. Jets got to win on that one. Houston looked lost, and I felt like an idiot for choosing them. And the Jets actually looked pretty decent. Aaron Rodgers had a decent game. I think Devontae Adams finally scored.
The Jets are. I mean, that was pretty much like a must-win game.
Yeah,
because they came in 2-6. And I told you last week, Vegas had the Jets as a small favorite. I mean, Vegas knows what's up. Okay, when it involves money, Vegas pretty much they know what's going on.
Well, what I found funny is maybe like I think we were probably the game was probably about at halftime, and I got a text from you that said this Jets offense is a joke. They look like a clown show out there or a circus or something. I forget what you called them. And then they came back. Then they came back and won. Sounds about right.
I mean, in the first half, I think the Jets had less than 100 yards as a team.
Yeah, but speaking of circuses, the Dallas Cowboys went up against the Falcons in Atlanta this past Sunday. Of course, Dallas lost. They also lost Dak Prescott for a significant amount of time. Falcons came out the winner there. It looks like we both got the win on that one. And then Denver went to Baltimore, and Baltimore came out the victor on this one. What was the score on that game? Do you remember?
I don't know. I think it was close early, and then it just... Baltimore controlled, though. I mean, it was controlled.
Too close, if you want to call it that. But yeah, Baltimore won. We both got that one right. Miami lost to the Bills in Buffalo. We both got that right. We both got the New Orleans-Carolina game right. Bryce Young finally gets to celebrate a win.
Mm-hmm.
The Bengals ended up beating the Raiders. We both got that one right. The first one that we picked different from each other was the Chargers-Browns game. For some reason, you picked the Browns.
Yeah, well, I was going with the hot hand. I mean, I thought Jameis Winston was just going to keep it up, but no, we got the old Jameis Winston. We got the usual regular size Jameis Winston.
You sure did, because the Chargers won on that one. Washington did get a victory over New York, pretty significantly. Washington's looking good. We both got that one right. You finally got one right on your own in this game. The Patriots and the Titans. You bet against your boys, and you were right. The Titans came out the winner on that one. Chicago fell to the Cards. I'm sure you were happy about that.
That's too bad. Too bad.
What a shame. Poor Caleb Williams. Jacksonville lost to Philadelphia. Now, this game was closer than I thought it was going to be. Did you see that reverse hurdle from Barkley?
I did. That was crazy.
That was awesome.
That was crazy.
Go see if you can find the video. If you haven't seen it, go see if you can find the video where the camera's on the sideline, the Eagles sideline, and when he does it, like all of the Eagles players like lose their minds and they can't believe that it just happened. It's hilarious.
Bet. Yeah.
But man is a different species. He's out there backwards hurdling. Where the front hurdle's not enough. He just got to turn around and look like a skateboard move. He's doing ollies out there or something. A McTwist. What is it? A 720 McTwist? I don't know. Been a while since I played Tony Hawk Pro Skater. Detroit and Green Bay. I did pick Green Bay in this one. This was billed as the game of the week, I think. And you took Detroit, your good old Super Bowl winner prediction. Yeah. And Detroit won on that one. The Rams,
it wasn't even a good game. You know, I thought that was going to be the game of the week, and it wasn't even a good game.
Yeah.
Jordan Love didn't come to play. It was
it was rainy too, right? The weather was pretty crappy, if I remember correctly.
It was just ugly. It was just ugly. Their offense couldn't do anything, and it made Detroit's defense look really good, which I don't think they are, but
they just landed Zadarius Smith the other day before the trade deadline, so that'll fill up the hole that Hutchinson left. At least they'll have some help there. The Rams ended up beating the Seahawks. The Seahawks just look bad right now. And the Rams got a win there, a crucial win. I feel like And then Indianapolis went up against Minnesota. You picked Indy, and I picked Minnesota. Now Joe Flacco, I wasn't really impressed.
No.
It's like the Jameis Winston. We saw the old Joe. We saw the not the old. I shouldn't say the old Joe Flacco because the old Joe Flacco was winning Super Bowls. We saw the middle of the road Joe Flacco. We didn't see the Super Bowl winner. We didn't see what we saw last week. We saw right in the middle. He's mediocre. He's average.
Right.
Lost me some money too.
Yeah. Is that?
Fool.
Oh, that's not. Who did they play? They played the Rams.
No, they played the Vikings.
Oh, right. Okay, I was gonna say the Rams are who lost me money. Okay.
And every time I tuned into the game to just to see what was going on, I think Joe Flacco threw a pick. Like, come on, man. Like, you're a veteran quarterback. Get it together. Anyways,
yeah, I know that they didn't hardly get the ball out to Pittman at all, which is weird because usually Flacco and Pittman connect really well.
He must have talked to Anthony Richardson before the game.
Yeah, he told him, don't look his way. We don't need our number one receiver.
My favorite part is Anthony Richardson is literally standing over there on the sideline, full pads with his helmet on, like he's ready to go in. Big bro, you ain't going in. You ain't going in. You're too tired. The last game of the week was the Monday night game going Kansas City and Tampa Bay. It was in Kansas City. This was actually a pretty decent game. Tampa Bay came back in the overtime came back at the end of the game, pushed it to overtime. And did you see the video, the coin toss when Mahomes won the coin toss and Baker just said,
Yep, he knew.
I know it's over. Over. But we both got that game right. Yeah, that's a tough situation to be in because, like a lot of people are saying, the Chiefs are good, but they know they're so experienced with everybody they have on their team and their coaching staff. They know what to do to win a game. It's not necessarily going to be the flashiest thing. It's not going to be the coolest thing. They're not gonna bomb it out down the field to win, but they remind me of like that real methodical team that just annoys you and they just do everything right and you just need them to do one thing wrong, but they just won't do it. But yeah,
they do all the basics really well and they know how to play in tight games. Travis Kelce's back. I mean, he's not scoring a ton of touchdowns, but he's pulling in crazy amounts of catches and yards again like he used to. I think he went like 9 receptions for 100 yards. I mean, that's tough. And then, because if you start focusing on him, then you got decent receivers out there. You got Worthy. They got the new addition.
Hopkins,
and Rice will be back at some point in the future, whenever. So that's a good offense. I mean, that's
even Pacheco, he can catch out of the backfield too. So
all right, and Pacheco will be back.
Yeah. It's looking like it's a possible three-peat for the Chiefs. I hate to say it, but
I think the Lions are going to stop them up.
I don't know. We'll see. I'll be interested to see how that plays out. That'll probably definitely most likely be that AFC Championship game.
Well, no, that would be the Super Bowl.
Wait, Lions are NFC. I'm sorry. Yes, you're correct.
Yeah. I like a Lions Chiefs Super Bowl.
That would be good. That's what I thought it was going to be last year.
Or a Skins Chiefs Super Bowl.
Oh man, I don't think I can take that pressure. I couldn't deal with it.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be able to watch. It would make me too nervous. But we both went for the record of the game's guess. We both went 11-4. You had 42 points for the game, and I had 35. I think the total was like 51 or something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head. But you won the tiebreaker, so technically you were 12-4. Or 12. You went 12-4, and I went 11-4. So that puts our standings. Where I just wrote it down. Let me see. Oh, let's see. That puts you at 45. I'm giving you a win because you had the tiebreaker. That makes sense, right? That's how we're doing it.
No, it's just a tiebreaker. It doesn't count as a game.
Okay, so you're 44-16 on the season, and I'm 43-17. So
okay, that's not bad.
It's still close. I think we're getting in the groove. You had more games right this week than last time we played. I think you maybe had like 5 games right, but yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool to call out. Remember that time I went undefeated and I didn't get a single game wrong that week? Remember that?
Yeah, I remember. All right.
Okay, just making sure you knew.
So before we get into the picks for next week, I want to go over some sleepers at each position for fantasy and see what you think about it. So I'm
Mhm.
looking at the rankings for quarterback first, and the sleeper they have for this week, it makes me laugh. Daniel Jones
No,
as a
no,
sleeper. Let me give you the
no.
reasoning. Okay, he did throw 2 touchdown passes last night or last week. It was against the Commanders, and it was in Washington. So he did make some scores last week, and they take on the Panthers this week. And the
Mhm.
Panthers defense does struggle, even though they got a win last week. It was barely a win. I think they're listing him as a sleeper simply because of the fact he's going up against the Panthers.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably the case, but, I don't remember the last time that Daniel Jones didn't fumble the ball or throw the ball away or throw a
This is
pick
true.
six or look completely inept. So, he can go out there and throw 2 touchdowns, but he's gonna get some negative points too. He's gonna get some
Right.
things taken away from him. So, I wouldn't get too crazy and think that Daniel Jones is gonna go in there and get you 30 points. He's not getting you 30 points.
Well,
Now,
and it,
if you need him to be a sleeper and get you like, 15, 16 points or something, he might be your guy this week. But yeah, I wouldn't expect too much.
I feel like there's lots of other options people probably have on their teams other than Daniel
Yeah.
Jones that could get them more points. I mean, I understand where they're coming from, but where these so-called experts are coming from. But it's also in Germany. They have to travel to play,
Mm,
so it's across the pond, and that's tough on a
yep.
team too. So you never know what's going to happen. I guess we'll see. But sleeper at running back for this week, Jalen Warren, Pittsburgh Steelers. Not a lot of appeal here, but he did have he did have pretty good games. The backup to Najee Harris last week, going up against or they had a bye. I'm sorry, the week before. Sorry. Um,
Yeah.
he might see
Wh-
some extra snaps here coming up. This could be a high scoring game, so I think that's the reason he's listed as a sleeper here.
Is
Um,
Najee hurt?
I don't know 100%. If he is, I know he's
Yeah.
not out. I know he's not out. But he may be limited in snaps if he's got an injury. I can check here.
Gotcha.
As
Okay.
as far as I know, it's not anything serious. But then
Yeah, I mean,
again,
I don't really know what to say about that. I mean, I would never put a running back into my starting lineup unless I absolutely had to when they're in a timeshare like that.
right? Yeah, I know.
That's
Especially in Pittsburgh,
yeah, that's dangerous. Like you just don't do it. That's why for all the, the I mean, that past 10 years you don't mess with Patriots running backs. It's
right?
always been a
Yep.
running back by committee. You don't touch a Patriot running back. It's you just don't do it. I mean, and you see this year Stevenson, I mean, he started off hot. I mean, he pop you 25 points, next week 3 and then
Right.
6.
Exactly.
And that
Yep.
it's you're really rolling the dice there. I don't know about Warren.
So it looks like here he's got something going on from what I can see with his ribs.
Hmm.
But he's not listed as being out.
So maybe
So
he's
he'll
just going to be limited.
Yeah. I mean, even if they go in thinking he's limited, that gives a good reason for Jalen Warren to be a sleeper. I mean, Washington's defense has gotten better over the course of the season. They
Hmm.
just added Lattimore, but that's the secondary. So uh,
Yeah.
their run defense has been average. So I understand the sleeper. I could agree with this here, even though he's playing against my team. But maybe Jalen Warren in a deep league is one of your starters. So
Hmm.
it's very possible. I'm
Yeah,
in a
if you
league
need it
just
to
like that.
be, if you need it to be, I don't think it's an awful pick, but I wouldn't go out
Yeah,
there and just get him and put him in place of a starter.
yeah, I agree. So at wide receiver here, I don't really think this guy's much of a sleeper. Just for the fact that San Francisco is hurting at wide receiver. Juwan Jennings, the
Yep.
49ers, he is back on the practice field. He missed some time last week.
Hmm.
Ayuk's done for the year. Debo's been battling some kind of sickness, and he hasn't been the same since maybe 2 weeks ago. I like Juwan Jennings in San Francisco right now, and I think he might be the top target coming up this week. Now McCaffrey's back, so he's going to be catching out of the backfield too. So I might take away a little bit from it, but I actually just proposed a
Yeah.
trade for Juwan Jennings in one of my other leagues because I'm hurting at wide receiver. So
Yeah, I would definitely start Jawan Jennings this week. He was looking really good before he went out. And I
yeah,
think McCaffrey's first week back, they might ease him back into the
right on
role.
a
I
snap
don't
count.
know. It's
Yeah,
hard to say. I mean, it's
yeah,
McCaffrey. I mean, I could see him going off for 35 points too. It's hard to say.
yeah. Another good sleeper coming up in fantasy wise for this week 10 is Juwan Johnson. He's the tight end on the Saints. And I know what you're thinking. Saints are stinking right now. They're not doing well, but they have a lot of receivers out. Olave's out again. Another concussion. He's starting to look like Tua out there. Johnson might be a good target for Derek Carr. Derek Carr had his first game back last week. Obviously, you're going to shake off the rust. They go up against Atlanta though, so that's a tough game.
Okay, so I like this pick. This is a good sleeper pick because, like you said, they have injuries.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, somebody has to catch a ball in New Orleans. Exactly. And number 3, most importantly, they're playing the Falcons. This game's probably going to get out of control. So in the second half, the Saints are going to have to throw the ball a lot. So I like this. I like this pick a lot.
I see a lot of check downs in this game for the Saints, and lots of possible like comeback routes, screen passes, stuff like that. So
Kamara and the tight end should both go over. I would think over their projection.
Yeah, I would agree. All right, so when we come back here, we're going to get into Week 10. We'll make our picks for all of the games, and I didn't bring my pick glasses today because I didn't win. So I'm doing what you did, and I'm ditching it. So we're just going to be all business.
Yep, all business.
Okay, we're back with the Coach's Corner. Tim's here joining me. We're going to get into Week 10, make our picks, and the first game up on the docket, if you want to call it that, Bengals and the Ravens. This is in Baltimore. And the Bengals are 4-5. The Ravens are 6-3. Who are you taking here?
That's a tough one. I mean, they play each other twice a year, every year. They know each other. I'm going to take the Ravens in a close one.
I feel like I'm being tricked with this game because the Ravens have lost to teams like the Browns. They got spanked by the Buffalo Bills. Not saying the Bills are bad, but I expected that game to be more than it was.
Right.
Every time you think the Ravens are going to go in and absolutely dominate, it's always the opposite. So they tend to play down to their competition. So I'm kind of torn on this one. It's in Baltimore. I'll take the Ravens too. I think just because the only reason I'm choosing that is because it's in Baltimore.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a close one.
If they were in Cincinnati, I would go Bengals, but I think it's the home. It's going to be the home team.
The Bengals do need to win, though. I mean, 4-5, they're on that.
Yeah, they do.
The Ravens.
The next game coming up, two teams that are kind of floundering in the NFL, the Giants and the Panthers. The Panthers coming off a win, but like we talked about, it wasn't really a decisive win. It did come against the Saints. So, I mean, Saints, even though they're doing horrible right now too, they're a decent football team still. The Giants got beat by the Commanders last week, as we know. So I'm thinking Carolina gets win number 2 in a row here. I don't think we just talked about Daniel Jones being the sleeper. I don't think that's going to happen. This is the one that's in Germany too. So it could honestly go either way. But I think the Panthers here, that's just my gut feeling.
Okay, I'm going to go with the Giants. And it's just because Carolina's so bad.
But so are the Giants.
Carolina's bottom 3, right? I mean, come on. And the Giants have a couple weapons.
So what are the Giants? Bottom 4?
Probably.
So okay.
Give me the Giants by 2.
By 2. Okay. I'll put by 2.
No, if you're going to write it down, give me the Giants by 3.
The only bright spot for the Giants is the fact that Tyrone Tracy, is that who their running back is? He's tearing it up right now, and he looks really good. Neighbors is obviously the top target there, but the problem is who's passing to him.
Right.
Like, it's so hit or miss, and their defense just falls apart. Yeah, I don't know, but I mean, same goes for the Panthers.
Well, and it's hard to play defense, if you're the Giants, because it probably feels like you're on the field every 2 seconds.
Constantly.
Because
I agree.
The offense goes out there and turns the ball over like nobody's business. I mean, you can't do that. You can't put your defense in that position. So, but again, it's Carolina, so that's why I'll take the Giants.
Okay. Next game coming up. I'm interested to see your opinion on this one. The Patriots are taking on the Bears. This is in Chicago. You highly dislike Caleb Williams, so are you picking your boys because of that, or are you gonna keep it straight and pick the better team here?
No, I mean I picked against my boys last week. They almost pulled it out last week.
They
Almost
did. It
pulled
was a
it
close
out.
one. Yeah.
But give me the Bears. Yeah, give me the Bears. I mean, we're talking. I mean, we're talking another bottom three here. This is,
Yeah, the
you
Patriots are
know,
trying to figure it out, and they haven't yet.
yeah,
So when they do, they'll be in good shape, but not right now. I took the Bear. I'm taking the Bears too. I think this could
yep,
be a big game for Caleb Williams, like he's had in the past, like against those bottom teams
yep.
where he just airs it out, like 400 yards passing or whatever. But then
Yeah.
again,
He
he's
beats. Yeah, that's Caleb Williams' mo. He goes out there and he'll destroy a weak team, and then he likes to talk in
yep,
the media.
yep. All right, the next game up, the Bills, the Bills, the Buffalo Bills are taking on the Indianapolis Colts. This is in Indianapolis. Bills are away. Um,
hmm
I'm taking the Bills here. Too much. I think they just got too much. The Colts are thought they had their answer at quarterback with Joe Flacco, but obviously he's not the answer right now. And Anthony Richardson, sure as heck, ain't coming back in. At least I don't think he would. Um, so if they're sticking with Flacco, I think that defense and the Bills defense is way too good for him to be
hmm
successful. So I'm going Bills here.
I mean, I hear all that, but this is my upset of the week. Give me the Colts.
Okay, you had them last week as an upset, and you were wrong. So we'll see.
That offense in Indianapolis is way too good to be playing how they did last week.
Fair.
Okay. I got the Colts. I got Pittman being heavily involved. I think this could be a shootout.
Here we go.
Colts on top.
Here goes the Michael Pittman talk. Okay. All
Michael
right.
Pittman got to get a bone every once in a while, okay?
All right. This next game is in Jacksonville. It's the Jags and the Vikings. Jags are probably considered one of those bottom feeder teams right now.
Another
Vikings.
bottom three. Give
The
me the
Vikings are
Vikes.
okay. I agree with that. I'm taking the Vikings too, but we could see, a close one. The Vikings have had games where they look close to the Jaguars level, but if the same Vikings team comes that went 5-0 to this game, I think they'll be all right, which I think is what will happen. But you never know. This seems like it could be a trap game. I don't know. I'm taking Vikings, but I feel like I'm wrong. I'm going to be wrong here. But anyways, your Bo Nix led Broncos take on the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs are the only undefeated team left. I don't think they're going to go undefeated for the whole season, but this is not going to be the game that they lose.
No,
Then
I don't
again,
think they'll
then
go
again, I could
undefeated.
I could be wrong. They might line up. They might line Bo up at wide receiver and get another touchdown.
Yeah, I saw that.
I saw that alert come through on my phone, and I was like, "What? Did they mean to say he threw a touchdown?" And I checked it, and it was like, "Oh no, he caught a touchdown. All right, he's playing every position out here." They put Bo. I heard somebody the other day say Bo Nix was one of the top 5 rookie quarterbacks from the draft this past year.
I mean, we're only 5 drafted.
No, there was more. I would
Oh,
put
okay.
that you've got Daniels, Caleb Williams, Drake May. I'm forgetting somebody else. There was a couple other
I'm just saying
Will
that's the only way he's top 5.
Will Levis. I can't remember any others, but definitely Chiefs here. This is going to be the Chiefs,
He's
right?
had some really good games, but yeah, I mean, yeah, give me the Chiefs.
Yeah, just like we said, they do everything. Like we said earlier, they do everything right when it matters, and I think that happens here too. Even if this game is close,
Right.
it's going to be the Chiefs on top. Yeah, the Falcons take on the Saints next. This one's in New Orleans, and Saints are struggling right now. They've got problems. They've got injuries. Top people out. Derek Carr is back, but it didn't seem like that mattered last week. Did they score a touchdown last week? I don't think they did. I think they just had field goals.
I think they put up like 22-ish points. They probably
Oh, did
scored
they?
once.
Maybe I'm thinking of the week before that. I
I
can't
think that
remember
was
which
the
week it was.
23-22, right? They lost to Carolina at the last
Okay.
minute.
Then I'm thinking of the week. Then I'm thinking of the week before. Yeah, you're right. You are right. Yep. But still, struggles. I think will continue here. They don't. No
Right.
answers. No answers right now to fill in for who's missing. So Falcons here, even though it's away. Kirk Cousins looks good. I think Drake London got hurt this past game. Nothing too serious.
Again. Yeah.
nothing too serious, but Darnell Mooney looks good right now. Him and Kirk Cousins got kind of
He
a
does, yeah.
rapport building, so that they could build on that. I'm taking the Falcons here.
Yeah, give me the Falcons as well. I drafted Mooney, and when I drafted him, I was like, I was like, whatever.
Yeah,
But
he's a
yeah,
must start right now. You got to start the guy.
he's played good. But the Saints, another bottom 3 team. I know I've listed 4 teams in the bottom 3, but they're all just jam them in there. Just jam them all in. They're all in there, dude.
This next game could be a really good game coming up. So the 49ers going against the Bucks. It's in Tampa Bay. Christian McCaffrey's back. Will he be on that snap count though? We'll have to wait and see. Juwan Jennings is back. They're still without Ayuk, and I think Samuel's set to play. Debo's set to play. The thing about the 49ers is they had a couple defensive players out as well, and I think they're supposed to get them back too. I don't know if it's this game or the next. I think it might be after. Well, they just had their bye this past week. I think Greenlaw was out, Dre Greenlaw, and he's back. He's a key defensive player there. So for that case, and the fact that the Bucks are coming off kind of a heartbreaker, I'm going with the 49ers here, even though it's in Tampa. I think they're going to be pumped up to have old C-Mac back.
Yeah, I wish that McCaffrey wouldn't be back because this would be an easy Bucks pick for me. But with him back, it's going to be a tough Bucks pick for me. So Bucks.
Okay. And yeah. Evans is still out. Godwin's out for the season.
They don't need Evans. Baker's making it happen out there. Baker's throwing it all over the field to people I've never heard of. Kate Otton's tearing it up. Bucky Irving's, kind of okay. Yeah, I like what the Bucks got going.
They need to get the running game going more. If they get that going, they're going to be golden. They can make the push. I noticed I was looking at the stats from the game the last couple of days, and I think they had like 5 people rush the ball. Now one of those people was Baker, but they were all for like 20 yards each. So it's like who do you want at the running back? I mean, I like the committee option for a team. I don't like it as a fantasy owner, but it's good for a team because one player could be hot and the other, could block, do something else. But at the same time, it's like you got 5 people rushing and they all had 20 yards. Like figure it out, get that in line, and then I think you're good to go. But yeah, okay. So that's a different pick for us. That's fine. Steelers. This might be the game of the week, in my opinion. Not because I'm a Commanders fan, but because the Steelers are hot right now. The Steelers look good. They're coming off. I think the Steelers are coming off a bye week, if I'm not mistaken.
They are.
Yep. Russell Wilson looks good. Jaden Daniels looks good. The defense for Pittsburgh is always good. Washington's defense looks okay. They're getting better. They just added Lattimore. That could be exciting. He'll be playing. I don't know who to pick on this one. My gut wants to go with my team, but my head says Steelers just because they're the hot team. Well, the Commanders are the hot team now too.
Yeah, the Commanders are hot. Offense looks really good.
Didn't think those words would be coming out of our mouths in 2024. That's for sure.
I know, right? I think this is one of those games where it comes down to turnovers.
Okay.
So, and unfortunately, I don't know. But I'm going to take the Redskins.
Okay, that's who I'm going with too. I think. Since my gut's telling me that, I'm going to go with that. I think if any of the 2 quarterbacks make the mistakes first, it's going to be Russell Wilson. And if that, like you said, if that happens and the Commanders get turnovers, and as long as they can capitalize on it, and Daniels doesn't get hurt, it could work out for them. If they go 8-2, did not have that on my bingo card at all.
Right.
Jeez. Like this would be a game. If I looked at the schedule and saw week 10 and saw this game on the lineup, my thought would be, well, these teams are going to be like 2-5, whatever the record would be, 2 wins, 1 win, but it's the complete opposite. So
yeah, we got good stuff going. All of our area sports teams football teams are looking good.
Yeah. So we both got the Commanders on that one. The Titans play the Chargers next in Los Angeles. I think I can pick this one for you. Chargers, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, if the Titans brought somebody in besides Will Levis for quarterback, which I think they tried out, but Levis got the start back, right? Am I wrong on that?
No, he did. They took him out and they put him back in. And he's had some decent. He looked decent early on. He did.
He's gonna be one of those guys that needs to develop a little bit. I feel like.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't think he's in the right. I don't think he's on the right team, in my opinion.
I mean, they've got Pollard. They've got Tajay Spears. They got a good running attack. Maybe it's just the play calling or how they have the offense set up. I don't know, but they have some good pieces. They don't fit together.
Yeah. So you're taking the Chargers too?
Yeah, I have to.
All right. So we both got the Chargers there. This one's a tough game to pick from. The Jets and the Cardinals. It's in Arizona.
Yep.
Aaron Rodgers is on record saying they're going to win out. So
yeah, and they're definitely not. So I don't think they're going to win even a week after. Give me the Cards.
I'm going Cardinals too because I don't really like Aaron Rodgers too much this season. I'm not an Aaron Rodgers fan this season.
Last week. The Cards looked good last week, and I think when I've seen Aaron Rodgers look good this year, it hasn't been for an entire game. It's for like a half.
Yeah.
Agreed. And if they go to Arizona and they play that decent offense that Arizona has, and Rodgers just shows up for a half, I don't think that's enough.
Their defense hasn't been showing up either for the Jets. What's Gardner doing over there? What's his name? Sauce? What's he doing over there? He's like their top Gardner. He's their top cornerback, and he's done jack squat so far this year.
Yeah, the team's they're just in disarray. I don't know how they won last week, but yeah, I don't know.
All right, both taking the Cards there. That could move the Cardinals to 6-4.
Mm-hmm.
If you'd have told me that 3 weeks ago, I wouldn't have believed you.
Yeah, the Cardinals have they have a decent thing going there. They just, if they have good quarterback play, the Cardinals are a good team, I think.
They need to bring Larry Fitzgerald back.
Right.
Can you imagine Larry Fitzgerald, prime Larry Fitzgerald lining up with Marvin Harrison Jr.? That would be unstoppable, man.
Yep.
But the opposite of unstoppable is stoppable, and that's the Dallas Cowboys right now. They're going against the Philadelphia Eagles, an NFC East matchup. It's in Dallas, but I don't think that matters. Dallas didn't make any moves at the trade deadline. Everybody thought they were going to go running back or try to at least get a running back. Khalil Herbert was apparently available, and he ended up on the. He came from the Bears. Where did he end up going? I just talked about this earlier. Anyways, he's on a different team. But why wouldn't you go after that guy? And
yeah, well, for the same reason they didn't do it in the offseason. They knew in the offseason that they needed a running back, and they drug their feet. So now on top of that, you've got injuries. Your quarterback's out. CeeDee Lamb's banged up. And you're playing a really good Eagles team. So, I mean, it's got to be the Eagles. I mean, this is the Cowboys have just made bad front office decisions this year. Well, most years, but definitely this year.
I'm going Eagles too, and I'm saying Saquon has 130 yards rushing.
I like it.
And two tutties. Not going to specify if they're receiving or rushing because.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, just in general, but yeah, we're both taking the Eagles there, obviously. If I would have looked at this game on the schedule 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, the Lions and Texans, I would have said this is going to be a really great matchup. It still could be, but I think the Texans they have problems right now. They got injuries too at wide receiver. Diggs is out. But they still have Joe Mixon. You'll notice these teams that are struggling in other positions offensively, they have the running backs still, and they still manage to win. Listen, Dallas Cowboys, that's how you that's how you maintain your offensive power.
Yeah.
I guess. So
the defense has to be at least somewhat aware of or scared of your running attack. Because if they're not, they can put extra guys. They can move defenders around, and now you're very one-dimensional. Yeah, it just doesn't work in Dallas. But for the Lions game, I'm taking the Lions. That's my Super Bowl pick.
I already wrote you down, so
I just
want to hear why.
I mean, come on, that offense is crazy good.
Yeah, they are really good this year. I think
the defense looked good last week, but I don't know if it was their defense looking good or Jordan Love looking bad. So. Yeah. I just think they're a well-rounded team. I think they're well coached. Definitely the Lions here.
Yeah, I'm going Lions too. I think the Texans can make it a game at least. Nico Collins is back, and like we said, Joe Mixon's still there. But Joe Mixon's had a bad game here or there. This could be one of those games. They just added Zadarius Smith to the defense. He's one of the edge rushers. He may make an impact. So we'll see. A lot of the Lions players have stepped up to fill in for that missing hole of Hutchinson. I read a stat earlier today. Hutchinson still leads the team in sacks, pressures, and tackles for a loss, and he hasn't played in 3 weeks.
Right.
So that just shows you what kind of player he was for the team.
Yeah.
That's insane. Obviously, that won't hold up for the rest of the season, but the next game coming up, the Monday night game, this could either be a really good game or this could be a dud. Dolphins and Rams. It's in Los Angeles.
This is a tough one. This is a tough one for me.
Tyreek Hill had a meltdown on the sideline last week. Did you hear about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not surprised.
That's not good.
It's a tantrum.
Everybody thought, the return of Tua was going to be the problem solver for the Dolphins, and it hasn't been yet.
Right.
So,
I'm gonna go with the Rams here. I feel like, Kyron Williams has scored in every game this year except for one.
Yep.
That's just a great running attack. Cooper Kupp is back, out there getting the first down when you need it. I mean,
they didn't make any moves before the trade deadline either. They were talking about possibly trading away Matt Stafford, talking about trading away Kupp. Yep.
But I think
Nakua's hurt again.
The Rams are still in this. The Rams can make a run here. Okay.
Yeah.
Your quarterback, wide receiver, running back combo there is strong.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They got their guy back from injury. He's a first down machine when you need it. Just like, Wes Welker back in the day, or, Julian Edelman. Quick go-to. I mean, the Rams offense is pretty good. I like how the Dolphins offense, rolled last week. I mean, they didn't get a win, but they played a really good team too. So
yeah.
But Achane was out there looking amazing.
It's either going to be one of those high scoring offensive games where it's just a shootout, or it's going to be, I think it's either that or a complete dud. There's no in the middle. When I say dud, I don't mean both teams will be a dud. I mean the Rams will blow out the Dolphins or something like that.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Rams, and I think it's going to be a high scoring. So give me the Rams and 47 points.
Okay, we only have 3 different. So do we need?
Are you also taking the Rams?
Wait, hold on a second. Yes, I'm taking the Rams too. Is it we have to have the same to do a tie? We have to have the same different to do a tiebreaker, or is it? I feel really stupid asking this question.
An odd number. We have to have an odd number different to do a tiebreaker.
So we have an odd number different. We have the Giants-Panthers game different. We have the Bills-Colts game different. And we have the Bucks-49ers game different. Everything else is the same. Okay, so you said 47 points. I'm going to go 55 points. Since I guessed too low last time. All right. So we'll see what happens this week, and then we'll come back next week, and we'll go over the picks, go over some fantasy. Next time we'll do instead of the sleepers, maybe we'll get into the best matchups or the worst matchups for your fantasy players, and then we'll do week 11. I can't believe we'll be in week 11 next week.
I know.
I feel like just the other day I was saying to myself, "Oh, it's only week 7 or it's only week 8," and then you also think forward and you're like, well, there'll be Christmas or there'll be football around Christmas, and Christmas is, and then you sit there and think, and you're like, crap, Christmas is a month away.
Yeah. Before you know it, we're going to be in the baseball season and no football and be sad for 5 months.
Hey, let's just hope the Orioles are decent so it can at least get us through.
Orioles are great. Just can't play in the playoffs.
Yeah. That's another topic, another discussion. All right. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for making picks. We will talk to you next week.
All right. See you.